Thanks to a special military operation, the Russian troops managed to obtain additional information about the military biological activities of the United States on the territory of Ukraine, confirming numerous violations of the conventions forbidding biological weapons. Using existing gaps in international legislation and the absence of the clear control mechanism, the US administration has been consistently building up its military biological capacity in different regions of the world. The Russian Federation is constantly making efforts to create a mechanism of checking and controlling the compliance with Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention (BTWC) terms. However, these efforts have been blocked by Western countries led by USA since 2001. The existing mechanism for investigation of the alleged use of biological and toxin weapons, as well as 1925 Geneva Protocol for the prohibition of the use in war of asphyxiating poisonous or other gases and of bacteriological methods of warfare, doesn't cover the means of verification of the biological activities of the participants. Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, located in Hague, also have no such authority. Some time ago we presented a scheme to coordinating the activities of biological labs and research institutes of Ukraine by USA. The Science and Technology Center in Ukraine, STCU, is part of it. At first glance, it's a non-public organization that has nothing to do with the Pentagon. The Russian Ministry of Defense managed to reveal its role in the military biological activities of the United States on the territory of Ukraine. According to its statutory document, STCU is an international intergovernmental organization which was created to, I quote, "prevent spreading knowledge and experience that is associated with mass destruction weapons." Its legal status is defined by an agreement between Ukraine, Canada, US and Sweden on October 25, 1993, as well as a protocol of amendments as of July 7, 1997. The head office of STCU is located in Kyiv and has regional representative offices in Baku, Tbilisi, Kharkiv and Lvov. Russian Federation Ministry of Defense Expert Center of Chemical and Biological Threats Prevention has established that the main purpose of STCU was distributing grants for conducting research of interests to Pentagon, including biological weapons research. Only in recent years, Washington has spent more than $350 million on the implementation of STCU projects. US Department of State and US Department of Defense are the major customers and sponsors of STCU. Funding is also provided through US Environmental Protection Agency, Department of Agriculture, Department of Health and Human Services, and Department of Energy. In addition, please note the document prepared by the STCU curators dated by March 11, 2022, which highlights the true nature of the activities of this organization. It says, I quote, "There is an outflow of scientific experts in development of delivery systems and modern weapons who worked in Ukrainian institutions, as well as experts in development of biological, radiological, chemical and nuclear weapons. The most trained specialists with experience in working with dual-use materials and technologies, there are 1,000 to 4,000 of them, found themselves in adverse professional and financial circumstances, which makes them vulnerable to defecting to other states for participation in programs to develop weapons of mass destruction, delivery systems and other weapons." End of quote. By these statements, Washington is in fact admitting that Ukrainian experts have been performing work on development of delivery systems of usage of weapons of mass destruction and considers it expedient to continue their financing. Here are the names of the officials who were involved in the implementation of military biological programs. USA citizen Curtis Belyach has been STCU Executive Director since 1994. He was born on August 27, 1968, in California, studied at UCLA Anderson School of Management, Los Angeles, California. He has a master's degree in international finance and has been working in Ukraine since 1994. Eddie Arthur Mayer is the chairman of the board of the STCU from the European Union, and from the US side, the work of the center is supervised by Phil Dolev, who holds the position of Deputy Advisor to the Secretary on International Security and Non-Proliferation of Weapons of Mass Destruction Programs in the State Department. The documents received by the Russian Ministry of Defense confirm the connection of the STCU with the military departments of USA. The current slide shows an official recommendation from the US Department of State endorsing the cooperation of STCU with the Pentagon's main contractor, Black & Which. The correspondence expresses the readiness of the Vice President of this company, Matthew Weber, to to work with the STCU in the ongoing military biological research on the territory of Ukraine. During a period from 2014 to 2020, STCU implemented more than 500 scientific projects in such post-Soviet countries as Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova, Azerbaijan. American curators were primarily interested in dual-use research, such as Project 6166, development of technologies for modeling, assessing and predicting the impact of conflicts and threats of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Project 9601, transfer of Ukrainian technologies for the production of complex dual-use materials to the European Union. Many of them are aimed at studying potential biological weapons agents, plague tularemia, and pathogens of economically significant infections, pathogenic avian influenza, African swine fever. Directly in the interests of the military department, the center financed projects P364, 444 and 781, aimed at studying and spreaders and pathogens of dangerous infections through insect vectors, wild birds and bats. Note the documents of the Project 3007, monitoring of epidemiological and environmental situation regarding dangerous waterborne diseases Ukraine. In the course of this work, Ukrainian specialists under the supervision of American scientists systematically took water samples in a number of large rivers of Ukraine, including the Dnieper, Danube, Dnest, as well as in the North Crimean Canal, in order to establish the presence of particularly dangerous pathogens, including pathogens of cholera, hepatitis A and E, and to make conclusions about the possibility of their distribution by water. As part of the project, the damaging properties of the selected samples were assessed, and the strains themselves were deposits in the collection of subsequently